Welcome to US-based news channel. Putin panicked at the possibility of attack from Ukraine. Defense systems have been installed in the capital of Russia. It was seen that Moscow was trying to strengthen the defense positions in the region with great fear. Fierce clashes took place in Sumy Oblast. Russian troops crossed the eastern border and tried to enter the Ukrainian regions. Russian forces were seen fleeing the fighting on the border of Sumy Oblast. Ukrainian soldiers participated in military training in the capital of Ukraine. Probability of Ukraine launching an attack on Crimea is very high. Hundreds of Russian soldiers were neutralized in the Ukrainian regions. If Ukraine tries to liberate the Crimea region, America will continue its military support. It is reported that Ukrainian soldiers will receive military training in England. Ukrainian troops began to strengthen their defense lines to ensure the security of their territory. When the defense lines in the Ukrainian regions began to be strengthened, the Russian troops could not pass these defense lines. For this reason, it was seen that Russian troops were trying to infiltrate the Ukrainian regions. As it is known, Sumy Oblast borders the regions of Russia. For this reason, Russia is constantly attempting to attack this region, which is close to its own territory. However, it was noted that the attack attempts of the Russian troops were unsuccessful, and with the fierce attacks of the Ukrainian troops, the Russian troops fled from the regions. Russian troops, who had attempted to infiltrate Ukrainian territory many times before, tried to conduct reconnaissance on Ukrainian territory. However, it has been seen many times that the Ukrainian defense forces instantly captured and neutralized the Russian reconnaissance soldiers. Since Russia could not gather the necessary information by sending reconnaissance troops to the Ukrainian regions, it tried to gather information by sending air reconnaissance vehicles to the Ukrainian regions many times. However, the powerful air defense systems owned by Ukraine could instantly detect and shoot down the Russian reconnaissance aircraft. Thereupon, Russia tried to infiltrate the Ukrainian regions and tried to carry out reconnaissance and attacks in the regions. According to information received, Russian troops tried to cross the border of Sumy Oblast. Ukrainian soldiers noticed that Russian troops were trying to cross the border of Sumy Oblast and immediately engaged in combat. Fierce clashes took place between Ukrainian soldiers and Russian soldiers in Sumy Oblast. According to the information obtained, the Russian reconnaissance unit consisting of 6 soldiers was attacked by Ukrainian soldiers while trying to cross the border of Sumy Oblast. In the clashes that followed, it was seen that Russian troops fled the area in panic. Ukraine decided to organize military training for its soldiers after seeing Russian troops increase their attempts to operate on its territory. It is known that the military training organized by Ukraine was carried out in the Kiev region. According to the information obtained, it was announced that the main purpose of the military training was to repel the air strikes that may come from Russia in the coming days of the Ukrainian troops and to defeat a large number of Russian soldiers. At the same time, Ukraine will train Ukrainian troops to protect infrastructure facilities in this military training, as there are attempts by Russia to attack infrastructure facilities on Ukrainian territory. It was seen that many Ukrainian soldiers from various units participated in the military training given by Ukraine. It is seen that after these trainings given by Ukraine to its soldiers, the United Kingdom also gave training to the Ukrainian soldiers. According to the information obtained, Ukrainian soldiers will receive military training for Challenger 2 tanks in England. In the statements made from the United Kingdom, it was stated that the motivation of the Ukrainian soldiers was very high and therefore they learned very quickly. As it is known, the motivation of the Ukrainian soldiers never decreases. Reason for this is that the Ukrainian soldiers continue their success on many fronts. However, contrary to this situation, the motivation of the Russian soldiers is also very low, and this is due to the heavy defeats of the Russian soldiers on many fronts. Because of this, the performance of the Russian soldiers has dropped tremendously, and that is why Russia is in a very tense situation, due to the conflicts that will take place in the coming days. Therefore, it is seen that some measures have already been taken in Russia. According to information received, Putin is very afraid of the possibility of an attack by Ukrainian troops, and therefore deploys air defenses in his areas. It was seen that the region where Putin deployed air defense systems was Moscow. In this case, it is estimated that Russian air defense systems will not be able to defend strongly in all regions. Because Putin's creation of defense lines, especially in the Moscow region, brings to mind the possibility of a great destruction in the Moscow region if Ukraine attacks the Russian capital. So much so that Putin foresaw this situation and began to strengthen the defense lines in the Moscow region. As Russia tries to secure its territory, the likelihood of Ukraine launching an operation against Crimea seems to have increased. Because the United States of America stated that if Ukraine continues its attack on Crimea, it will provide the necessary military equipment and military vehicles. This situation made Russia even more worried. After the statements of the United States of America, Russia began to take the necessary measures in Crimea. According to the information obtained, Russia is conducting a secret mobilization in Crimea. Reason for this is estimated to be that Ukraine increased the possibility of an attack on the Crimea region after the statements made by the United States of America. However, we cannot say that Russia's Crimean mobilization continued successfully. According to the information obtained, it was seen that those in Crimea escaped from the mobilization initiated in Crimea. Those in the Crimea region, who did not want to fight against Ukraine, did not want to be involved in this mobilization initiated by Russia. It was reported that many Crimean people fleeing the mobilization were sought by Russian forces in every region. It is clear that the measures taken by Russia did not work very well. Number of countries supporting Russia has gradually decreased. For this reason, the Russian troops began to suffer a lot of losses, as they were inadequately equipped on the fronts. As the number of casualties of the Russian troops increased, it is seen that the Russian soldiers also failed in the battles where their morale was low. However, I am sure that the morale of the Russian soldiers will decrease further in the coming days. Because, according to the information received, it is seen that the Russian military losses have increased considerably. I think that this situation will not reflect positively on the Russian troops. Because when the other Russian troops see the number of casualties, they will realize that they will never win in this war. Therefore, the number of soldiers fleeing the Russian army will increase in the future. According to the information received, more than 850 Russian soldiers were neutralized in the last 24 hours. Looking at the available data, it is now seen that Russian troops are losing about 1,000 soldiers every day. Therefore, as we have just mentioned, I am not sure that the Russian troops will fight these numbers with high motivation. It is obvious that the mobilizations carried out by Russia in other regions are not going well. As a result of this situation, it is likely that Russia will experience a significant problem in terms of military personnel in the near future. As Russia's military personnel problem increases, the success rate in the war process will gradually decrease. At the same time, the destruction of Russian military equipment by Ukrainian troops in this period when Russia is experiencing a shortage of military personnel causes Russia's problems to be doubled. According to the information obtained, it is seen that the Ukrainian forces destroyed 6 Russian artillery systems and 15 armored vehicles in just one night. While significant military aid from countries continues for Ukraine, the decrease in Russian military equipment causes a sharp increase in tensions between Russia and Ukraine. However, I believe that this situation will not change in the coming days. Because military aid from many countries still continues to Ukraine. In addition, Ukrainian soldiers gain experience thanks to important trainings. Therefore, it is certain that the Ukrainian soldiers will continue the war in a much stronger and more experienced way by receiving training. For this reason, the steps that Ukraine will take now are very important. Because as many countries increase their military aid to Ukraine, Ukraine is likely to attack more strongly. For this reason, Ukraine should defeat Russia in a short time by increasing its strong attacks against Russia. We will keep you informed of future developments. We'll see what happens in the next few days. We have reached the end of another video. You can support us by liking the video. You can easily follow new videos by subscribing. I wish you all a war-free day. See you.